All right, let's talk about a rumor that is sending some serious shockwaves through the tech world. We're talking about a potential and honestly kind of shocking reunion between two of the biggest names out there, Apple and Intel. So let's break down what this could actually mean.
So the big question on everyone's mind is this. Could Intel chips really be powering Macs again? I mean, if you'd asked me that a few years ago, the answer would have been a hard no. Not a chance. So what's changed? And, how seriously should we be taking this whole thing?
Okay, to really get why this news is such a huge deal, we've got to go back in time a little bit. We need to talk about their, let's call it a famous breakup. Seriously, the history here is everything if we want to understand what's coming next. For years and years, more than a decade actually, that Intel Inside sticker was just part of being a Mac. It was the heart of the machine. But then came the big switch. Apple basically declared its independence. They started designing their own super powerful M-series chips, and they teamed up with TSMC over in Taiwan to actually make them. This was a massive strategic pivot, and it pretty much left Intel in the dust.
All right, so with that history lesson in our back pocket, what exactly is on the table now? Let's dive into the specifics of this potential new deal. And just so you know, these details are coming from some pretty solid predictions by the well-known supply chain analyst Ming-Chi Kuo.
Okay, now here is a really key detail. The prediction isn't that Intel is going to be making, the top-of-the-line powerhouse chips like the M-series Ultra. No, the rumor is very specific. Intel would be making Apple's entry-level M-series chips, and they'd start around 2027. That level of detail, that specificity, that's what makes this whole thing feel a lot more plausible. And the entire deal, literally the whole thing, hangs on this one piece of tech, Intel's 18AP advanced node. So what is that? Well, just think of it as Intel's brand new cutting-edge way of making chips. For this deal to even have a prayer, Intel has to prove that this new process isn't just ready to go, but that it's good enough for a customer as demanding as Apple. That's a high bar. So this shows us we're way past the just a rumor stage. It looks like there's a real, even if conditional, timeline in place. An NDA, a non-disclosure agreement, is reportedly already signed. The next big step, the next hurdle, is for Intel to deliver what's called a PDK to Apple. That stands for Process Design Kit. And you can think of it like the instruction manual and the toolbox that Apple's engineers absolutely need to design their chips to work in Intel's factories. That's supposed to arrive in early 2026. And hey, if Apple likes what they see, the first chips could be shipping by the middle of 2027. Wow. All right, so that covers the what and the when. But let's be real, the most interesting part of this whole story is the why. I mean, why on earth would these two giants, after such a public and, let's face it, kind of messy separation, even think about getting back together? Well, it really comes down to what's in it for each of them. It's a deal of mutual interest. So for Apple, it's a chance to diversify their supply chain. Right now, they rely heavily on TSMC in Taiwan. This deal would add a major US-based company to the mix, and it would look great as a Buy American move. And for Intel, oh man, for Intel, this would be a monumental win. Landing Apple as a customer would be a massive signal to the entire industry that the company's comeback is for real and that their worst days are finally over. Okay, let's zoom out a bit. Because a deal like this, it isn't just about Apple and Intel. No, this could have much, much bigger ripple effects across the entire global tech landscape. And this quote from Ming-Chi Kuo really hits the nail on the head when it comes to the long-term stakes. See, this isn't just about one single chip contract for 2027. If Intel can actually pull this off, it could open the floodgates. It could lead to them making even more advanced chips for Apple and for other huge companies down the road. This could literally change Intel's entire trajectory for the next decade. It's that big. So let's recap, right? Let's connect all the dots here. An Apple-Intel reunion, specifically for entry-level chips, could actually happen by 2027. For Apple, it's a smart, strategic move to strengthen its US-based supply chain. For Intel, it would be a massive validation, a huge comeback story. But, and this is the big but, the whole thing depends on Intel hitting some supercritical technical milestones in 2026. No pressure, right? And all of this leaves us with one giant, lingering question. If this incredibly unlikely reunion actually happens, could this be the spark that completely reshapes the future of American tech manufacturing? It's a huge possibility, and you can bet we are going to be watching this one very, very closely.